Good morning. It is a privilege for me to be here with all of you today to celebrate the completion and official opening of this beautiful state-of-the-art facility. I am Mick Seckler, the principal of this new school, named after a distinguished person, community member, and someone who would be considered a dot true to the core, Mr. Lowell Brune. You'll hear more about Mr. Bruni shortly as we honor him today and introduce you to his family members. Before we get started with the program, I'd like to introduce a few of our guests who have joined us on this special occasion. Please join me in welcoming members of our Board of Education. Board President Randy Lopez. Where's there? He'll also be providing remarks today. Dr. Valdivia Wind. Miss Janie Humphreys. Miss Maxine Drew. Dr. Stacy Yeager. Miss Wanda Page. And Miss Yolanda Clark. We'd also like to welcome a few others. Congresswoman Sharice Davids. Senator Pat Petty. Thank you. Representative Kathy Wolf Moore. Janet Wall, representing our district as a member of the Kansas State Board of Education. Unified Government Commissioner Christian Ramirez. And Board of Public Utilities Board Member Mary Gonzalez. Once again, thank you for coming out today. As I mentioned earlier, we're excited to celebrate the opening of our new school this year. Of course, we're currently missing the building's most valuable occupants right now due to the pandemic. Still, we're ready and prepared to welcome them back to a safe and new learning environment that inspires academic excellence for generations to come. As we transition to our new school, we'd be remiss if we didn't take a few moments to acknowledge the generations of students, their families, and teachers who have passed through the classrooms and hallways of Bethel and White Church Elementary schools. Both schools served as an essential anchor to the families and community during their time. Their memories of positive student relationships that were established there were fundamental to student success and will never be forgotten. Mr. Lowell Brune, whose name is anchored on this new building, is an example of the impact that we can make in people's lives of all ages. Joining us today to help commemorate his life and generosity to our community is his wife, Anna Bruni, daughters Patricia and Janice Kamerlich, Unified Government Commissioner Melissa Bynum, Ms. Bynum, who is also a county commissioner, will provide remarks today on behalf of the family. Also joining her today are spouses, grandchildren, and friends of the family. In addition to remarks from Melissa Bynum, we will follow in order of the program with comments from the Unified Government Commissioner Mike Kane, School Board President Randy Lopez, and remarks from Interim Superintendent Dr. Alicia Miguel. And I will close the program out with the essential ribbon.
Hello, good morning. My name's Melissa Brune Bynum. I'm the last of 5 daughters of Lowell Brune, and I serve as a Unified Government Commissioner. I'm also proud to say that I'm a graduate of Sumner Academy class of 1981, the best class ever of Sumner Academy. And every member of my family is a graduate from Kansas City, Kansas schools. It's one of my highest honors to be here today to dedicate Lowell Brune Elementary School, along with my mother, who is actually the rock of our family and our friends. And I want to introduce those that we've brought with us today to celebrate this honor for our father. Mrs. Emily Dennis, raise your hand. She is an amazing teacher and person and led the effort to nominate Lowell Brune for this amazing honor. And we also have with our family Dr. Cindy Lane, retired superintendent of the KCK Public Schools. We have my sister Pat and my sister Janice. I don't know where they are. And my dearest friend on the planet, Kate Fields. My two beautiful children, Laura and Ted, and Matt, Laura's friend Matt, and my nieces, Sarah and Amanda, and my nephew, Joe, and his wife, Rachel. There you are. And I just can't even tell you how thrilled we all are to be here with you today. And next, I really want to thank and honor our KCK Public Schools Board of Education and every district educator and employee for your dedication and determination in the amazing role that you volunteered for. As a major player in bringing up our community's next generation of leaders, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've watched as you've so thoughtfully and passionately managed your way through many difficulties, including the trying times in which we find ourselves today. You have my utmost respect and admiration. Lowell Brune was all Wyandotte all the time. He lived his entire life right here in Wyandotte County, having been born just right over the hill from where we stand today. I have no doubt that my dad, his friends, and his brother and sister probably explored and played right on the ground where we're standing. In my family, we joke that he didn't make it very far from home. He made his lifelong home right up the street off of 81st Street. He worked his entire career right here in Wyandotte County in the Fairfax Industrial District at CertainTeed Corporation. He worshiped in his entire life right here in Wyandotte County, where as a 45-plus year member of Lowell Brune Community Church, where he spent decades in leadership and in the church choir. He gave all of his free time to Wyandotte County, especially working with and supporting our youth through coaching and mentoring. And I think that in particular is why it's so fitting to honor him in naming this incredible new school after him. Many decades ago, he served on a school committee that led to the consolidation of schools into District 500. He and my mom, his constant sidekick, spent countless hours at both Bethel and White Church Elementary, helping with school and sporting events, fundraisers, PTA events, carnivals, and the like. My dad even had a small part in one of White Church's musical productions. He played Herb the Gardener. Late in his life, he spent more than 10 years going into White Church Elementary to visit with and mentor the students in Miss Emily Dennis's classes. He absolutely loved his time with the students, and they loved him, creating for him thank you books at the end of each school year. We truly treasure those books as a part of his memories. Mrs. Dennis also took time to create videos of our father visiting in her classroom. I can't even describe what treasures they are and the joy they've brought to us since his passing. Dad continued his weekly visits into White Church even after his cancer diagnosis and basically right up until his passing. He loved the children and the staff in that building. I can assure you he would be so humbled by the honor being bestowed here today. And in his absence, my family and I have been continuously in awe of this honor ever since it was announced. So to say we are honored to be with you here today to dedicate this fantastic building is an understatement. In 2011, Lowell Brune was a KCK Public Schools Reasons to Believe honoree. The district created a video interview of the honorees that year, another treasure for my family. If you'd like to see it, you can just Google Lowell Brune Reasons to Believe. In the video, you will hear him affirming his strong commitment and belief in the importance of education. Lowell Brune was an extraordinarily ordinary man. He was never the mayor or a senator or the CEO of a large corporation. He was, first and foremost, a father, a leader, a coach, a friend, a neighbor, and most importantly, an advocate for young people and education. He was an extraordinary, ordinary man. On behalf of my mother, his wife of more than 60 years, and my entire family, we thank you for this incredible honor for this humble servant. And so to Principal Seckler and staff, our family is here and ready to support you and the students, and we'll do our best to try to live up to the legacy Lowell Brune has left for us. Thank you.
Well, I would have rather went before she did. You know, I want to thank the former Superintendent Cynthia Lane and the former Board of Education and the current Board of Education. You did this without raising any mill levy. And I think it's very important that you thank both sides, the ones that were here before that got this started and the ones that are here now that continue the legacy. If you don't think education isn't important, you look at the elected body that's here right now. I've watched them in Topeka, and I've seen what they do, and they actually care, and you saw that a couple years ago when they defunded the schools. So we really appreciate you guys being here because it means something, because a lot of people don't get to see them, what they're doing up there, and I do, and I appreciate their work, and I wouldn't do that job for nothing. If you think about what's going on and how we got where we're today, and I started this a long time ago, the senior citizens took us to our todays. The students take us to our tomorrows. Teachers, Board of Education, you hold our future in your hands. What a beautiful facility. We're going to have something a lot of school districts wish they had. I'm excited for the kids. You know, when Kathy Wolfmore and I went to kindergarten all the way through high school, we didn't have air conditioning. We barely had the things that you needed. It is awesome that the school district is going to be provided to educate our kids as best as any other. And I say this all the time. There's no better community than Wyandotte County, and this is just a portion of what shows Wyandotte County can do. Thank you all for coming. I look forward to walking through the building.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, I know we can do a little bit better than that. Good morning. All right, thank you. Listen, y'all, this is one of my first in-person meetings in a really long time. So I want to just have some energy and people. And so I'm super excited to be here in front of y'all today. So energy is great. And I have a script and some remarks because Edwin knows me already, and he knows if I don't have words in front of me, I just can go on and on and on. So I'll try to stick with this, Edwin. Thank you. So my name's Randy Lopez, current board president for the Board of Education, and a graduate of Sumner Academy, class of '99, the best class. And I just want to say thank you for coming out on this special occasion to celebrate with us on this crisp and brisk morning, but the sun's coming out a little bit, so that's kind of nice. So we all know that this year, 2020, has undoubtedly been a unique and interesting year for us all. But together, we've shown that our resilience and fortitude can help us overcome any obstacles that are put in our way. It hasn't been easy, and we still have a long way to go. But there's no one else I'd rather be with during these challenging times than this diverse group of deliberate and hardworking individuals who are committed to investing in our future. A community that's rooted in hope, resilience, and providing the highest quality of teaching and learning environment for our students. Is that my cue that I'm done? Is that, no? That's why we're here today. To celebrate and to commemorate the people who have collectively brought us to this point. I want to take a moment to briefly thank those individuals who have helped contribute to the construction of 5 new schools and facility upgrades and security enhancements in 47 buildings across the district. This work brings state-of-the-art facilities and technology to our students that are second to none. A debt of gratitude certainly applies to former Superintendent Dr. Cynthia Lane and Dr. Kelly Mather, who are with us today. They played an integral role in the bond work to the schools completed. Both the former and present members of the Board of Education for their sound financial management of our district's resources, which raises the quality of schooling that all KCKPS students deserve. And most importantly, to the voters of Kansas City, Kansas, who approved the $235 million bond referendum back in 2016. We also want to recognize the community visioning team that included members of our community who helped to ensure that the message was clear and that there was community voice within the process. I remember being a part of that team back in 2016, working with our community, putting out yard signs, walking door to door, handing out literature. And it's an honor to stand here this morning to see the fruits of that labor come to fruition. I also want to thank the construction and design teams, J.E. Dunn Construction, Hollis and Miller Architects and their design consultant teams, Smith and Butcher and MKEC, and HTK Architects, Inc., for all the consulting, design, and engineering work that went into the construction of our new schools and the remodeling of remaining facilities. I want to thank some of our staff, Lenora Miller, Doug Clements, and Kurt Wagner, and the operations team. We want to thank you for helping to manage this entire process on the district's behalf. And most importantly, a great deal of gratitude goes to our custodial staff who keep our buildings clean and school campuses clean and safe, especially during these times in this pandemic. So I want to thank, and I also want to just say a thank you to all of our staff here at this building. I wish we could have everyone here. I wish we could have our students here, but soon enough. I want to thank the school board for your sound financial prudence for approving the refinancing of $150 million of the district's $235 million general obligation bonds, which saved the district more than $30 million. And to our state representatives, I want to acknowledge all of you for representing our community and for advocating for local public schools. These are just a few examples of collaboration, of resilience, and fortitude that I mentioned earlier, which are at the root of the core values of the hardworking, blue-collar community that we are. The residents' passion for this school district and investment into our future will inspire generations to come. There is no doubt about that. These new schools will never erase the past because every school has a unique history of its own. Students take that history into the next phase of their educational development as they graduate and they move on. New schools like Lowell Brune will add even more historical moments for students to share as they grow and for the district as a whole. Now, as you take a tour through this beautiful school, you will see that Bruni will help stimulate kids' desire to come to school, and the teachers will feel excited to come work in a building that inspires teaching and learning. Also, residents, even those who may not have children in the school district, will feel connected and proud of the addition to their community and to their neighborhood. The impact that we are making today reaches even further beyond the geographical boundaries of Kansas City, Kansas, and that's what education is all about. Lastly, but so importantly, I want to thank the Bruni family, which the school beholds your name. This is a legacy to your family, to your dedication, to your father's hard work and commitment and involvement in our community. We couldn't be more proud to have this honor today and to have you join us this morning for this amazing moment. I'm so proud and so honored that we can do this for your family's legacy today. Please join me in thanking the Bruni family, everybody. Again, I want to thank all of you for joining us this morning. We look forward to your continued support as we start the new year, hopefully in January, with students returning to school. But remember, wear your masks, social distance, do all those things necessary so that we can get back into our classrooms. Thank you so much for today, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. What an exciting time. I am so humbled to be in front of you today to say just a few words. It's hard to follow the speakers that we had, but what a happy time to be honoring Mr. Bruni and to be opening Lowell Brune Elementary. Of course, it would be a lot happier if we could have the kids with us. It's a mixture of being happy for the honor that we can provide to the family, for the excitement of having a new building, but how much more happy it would be if we could have the kids here. But we know that COVID-19 has changed the world for us. Who would have thought that we would have brand new stadiums without fans, new schools without students? This is definitely a reflection of the times that we're living and how serious this is. So as I look at this school, the feeling of joy takes me over, and I'm going to invite you to jump now to January of 2021, because that is when we're going to have children in this building, those children for whom this building was built. So thinking about the faces when they see these new classrooms, when they see and experience the wonderful opportunities we will be able to give them because of this gorgeous new building. We know that the board has had to make a very hard decision. It's kind of hard to be thinking we're in October talking about kids coming to school in January. We know it hasn't been a popular decision at times. We know it hasn't been easy, but we also know it was the right decision to make. I was talking to a reporter yesterday who was asking about the kids coming back in January, and my first thought was, we're having this interview via Zoom because we don't think it's safe for you or me to be in the same room in person. So why would we think it's safe for kids to be all together with other adults and other children? So I want to thank the Board of Education for a very hard decision they had to make, but for making the right decision with the safety of students in mind. We follow the guidance of the Wyandotte Public Health Department, the Kansas Department Board of Education, and with that guidance and the guidance of the board, we have created a re-entry plan that will take into account the safeguard of students and staff. So don't be too sad about the kids not being here, and that's why I want to invite you to jump to January of 2021 and think about their faces when they first see this building, when the buses approach, and then when they enter the building and see where they're going to be every single day. We really, just like Mr. Lopez said, we will need the support of everyone to make sure that we can ensure a safe return of students to the classroom, wearing the mask, carry it everywhere, wear it when you are in close contact with people, so that we can make sure that they can come back. We understand there is still a lot of anxiety. There is a lot of anxiety here as I see everybody wearing masks, and I thank you for that and for keeping your distance. But together we are going to be able to do this. When schools reopen, we want them to return to a healthy and safe environment. We want to ensure that both inside and outside the classroom, we offer them not just the safety precautions to be healthy, but the support for them to know we care about them. And I think this building and what has happened to make this building happen shows how much we all care about this community. So this is not just here for show. We want to hear the school buses roll in. We want to hear the kids playing in the playgrounds and in the classrooms. And we want to hear them feel that pride of what this means to them. and to every child in our community. And today, after hearing so much about Mr. Bruni, I am so humbled to hear about everything he has done for this community. And after reading about what he has done, reflecting on his life, I think he would encourage us all to respect one another, to not give up, to work together for the betterment of our community, because that is what he did all of his life. And that's why we're here together, and that's why we have his name on this building. And I'm when I say I'm humbled, I'm hearing more and more about what he has done every time I talk to someone. He's done so much. It's hard to think we know everything he has done. So I'm so proud to be here in front of this beautiful school that bears his name, and I'm sure with that we can, because his name is on this building, he will inspire each of us to do the best that we can every single day, because that is what he did. So I want to thank his family, his children, for being here today. It's such a privilege to meet Ms. Anna Lou Bruni and all of the family. And I want to thank also Commissioner McCain. And when I see, I'm going off script here, but when I see unified government, I also think of something I learned this morning and the role Mr. Bruni had in making this the unified school district that it is today. And that's what I was thinking. Every single day we learn something new. I also learned about the lunch bunch and how kids would work so hard to have lunch with him, to get the privilege to have lunch with him. And I see the nodding of the heads because you guys knew about this. I didn't know. And that shows the spirit of the man that we're honoring today. It was all about children, and he showed it in the little things that for kids were so significant. So thank you again for sharing with me the story and for sharing his spirit with us today. I also want to thank Dr. Lane, our former superintendent, for being here, for all of the work she and the former board has done to make this happen. Dr. Mather is here also. We know the hours that she has put in this work to make this happen. So if you would both please stand and we can honor the very hard work that they did. Thank you so much. And I appreciate that you're here today. So I'm not going to say anymore. It's kind of getting chilly, it's windy. I'm so glad the sun is out, and I think that's a reflection of what's happening today. Thank you again for being here. A few of the people here will go in and visit the building. I cannot wait for you to see what it looks like. So Mick, I'm going to let you close here. Thank you so much.
Although our students are currently learning remotely, it is important that we provide social and emotional support that they need to remain encouraged and focused during moments of isolation from their friends and their school community. While the school provides the community with a sense of pride and identity, what goes inside the school and the classrooms have the most long-lasting impact. Our students, parents, teachers, and schools need your support more than before during these challenging times. We don't have all the answers, but our collective support and unwavering commitment to public education will help us overcome many of the challenges we face today. Ribbon-cutting ceremonies like this provide an opportunity for us to reflect on the collective efforts of so many people and organizations that it took to reach this point. As we reflect on the past, we certainly recognize that we owe a significant debt of gratitude to many people who have worked hard over the years to bring this school from the concept stage to where we are today. Before I close, I'd like to thank HTK Architects, Inc. for their hard work bringing this school to reality and providing the handouts and images that are on display here today. I'd like to thank the KCKPS Police Department for their assistance with the traffic control and their overall keeping us safe. I also want to thank Mr. Edwin Birch, who has put this together. Without him and his team, I would be lost today. So thank you. I'd also like to thank my staff that is here today teaching. I have my assistant principal, Miss Ann Herman. I have some of my staff back there. Please wave to them. Their classes are at specials today, so right now, so they are able to come out. And then all of my teachers that are inside teaching right now, I want to thank them as well. And then I also want to thank all the parents and students that go to this school. Before we close, the Bruni staff looks at the future with confidence and optimism for our continued history of success.